going to start off with tracking some of the major stories that have been making rounds. It's been a very busy few days. And joining us in the studio right now, Mr. Victor Giwa, who's the National Coordinator of the Advocates for People's Rights and Justice. Thank you so much.
Good morning. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you again.
Thank
So
you.
let's start off with the one that everyone has been talking about, which is our girls. Our girls doing very well, whether it's the Falcons, but this time, the Tigress. And this 10-year unbeaten run, our girls are doing very well, and they've been crowned Afro Basket Queens again.
Well, the truth of the matter is that our ladies are really doing well. We
Yes,
saw
they
the
are.
Falcons, and now it is the Tigress. I think it's like we should do more, we give more emphasis on our female sport women.
Yeah.
So that I think that it's like they're giving us the medals. I think government should concentrate on how to develop, expound, investment as it relates to women in sport, in universities, in schools, in primary schools, in the localities. Of course, we find out that some of these people are from abroad and all of that. Our locals should know that our females, our young girls can be encouraged to look at, not only going to school, we should also tell them that it can be developed from wherever they are. So the facilities should be provided to the local government, and government should ensure that our young girls are motivated.
I mean, watching, of course, the president is excited, and we can tell, he gets emotional with these sorts of things. It starts, of course, with the love that his wife, the First Lady, has for our female sports people. And, we're expecting, do you think there's going to be another giving that... another round of giving.
Because of the controversy the last one generated. But of course, it should not stop. Instead, they should just ensure that they do it very well, that it is reasonable, and to such an extent that it encourages other. I mean, while we are looking at the women, we are encouraging them. We should not also look down on the men. And let it go. Let it be open. Let it be broad, and let the sports sector in general be encouraged. I think those are areas that have also brought good image for Nigeria, outside all the negative things we had. The sport axis they are bringing us some very good news, and so we should the government should ensure that they sustain it and they promote it.
At the risk of getting any backlash, what is wrong? What is happening to the men's teams?
No, the competition is stiff.
What are you saying? The competition is not stiff?
Well, it's more within the men. Of course, the challenges with men are enormous. Men have to take care of their family. Men have to look at
these women are not taking care of their families.
No, but you see, it is the immediate domain for the men in Africa's setting, and so you cannot really,
They will attack you, and I will not help you. I will not help you, but you shall be attacked for saying that. All right, let's see if we can move on. Congratulations to the Tigress, and of course, hoping that they keep doing more.
Yes.
I think all eyes are on what the president is going to do this time.
Yeah,
all eyes on what the president is going. And then, of course, that point you made about sports development at local levels, and you are right on the money there. A lot of these players came from outside this country. What's happening to our local talent here?
Exactly.
What's happening to the girls in the villages? What's happening to the girls who love to play football, who want to play basketball?
Exactly.
Are they getting the kind of support that they need from the...
You don't need to be abroad for you to be part of the female sport. We should start it from the locals.
But we'll take this win. We'll take this win. Congratulations to them.
Thank you so much.
All right, so let's move on now to another story. Let's segue into politics. Of course, Mr. Soludo. It actually started with an interview. I think that interview happened here on Channels Television. I don't know if he said it somewhere else, but I think Shehu Kimbaloye had interviewed Peter Obi, and he said he was going to do one term. The governor of Anambra State responded to that recently, saying anyone who is making that kind of promise is a bit insane. In fact, this is not the first time he's saying that. Another time he said it kind of sounds like a promise you'd make to a woman when you're with her, And then after that, Peter Obi responded and said, I'm not insane. I'm not insane. This is the promise I'm making. And he started naming some people. The problem is the people that he named got the presidency to respond, because Mr. Bayo Onanuga has posted, I think it was early this morning, where he said, well, you're not Kennedy. Kennedy did one term because he died. And, the other person, Mandela, he mentioned, who did one term because he was old. You're not exactly in the same mold as these people. What do you make of this promise of one term? Is it possible that he can deliver on that? And the biggest question, how do you want to change Nigeria's economic problems, of our value systems? How do you want to do all of that in one term?
Well, Peter Obi has been able to demonstrate that it should be believed. He has also shown that one of the narratives is trying to promote the fact that politicians should be held accountable. They should be held according to their words, and they should be good examples. And it is his personal right to bring out that narrative and promote it and also sustain it. Now, whether Soludo is looking at it from his own lens and the general lens of the politicians, politicians should not be trusted.
Well, I want to be able to, one of our guests is joining us via Zoom right now. I think we were able to secure that connection with Mr. Zubair Idris, who is the Chairman Board of Trustees of Wadata Media and Advocacy Center. He's joining us from Kaduna. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning.
All right, so since you're here and we're trying to get that connection, let's get to the topic that made us bring him here in the first place. It's got to do with the story from Niger State. Governor Bago shutting down Badeggi station, you know, revoking their license. It's caused a lot of uproar everywhere. Everyone is speaking up against it. Everyone is telling the governor that this was the wrong thing to do. I read your statement yesterday. Talk to us a little bit about this situation and the truth about Badeggi station. Did they break any rules? What did they say, really? What was said that upset the Niger State governor so much?
Well, when you look at the media landscape in Nigeria generally, this is the midterm of this current dispensation. So a lot of politicians are up there thinking about 2027 general elections rather than delivering, you know, some of the promises or some of the projects they are embarking upon for the benefit of the people or the citizens that they elected them. What happened in Mina, Badeggi radio closure, purported closure by Governor Umar Bago is very unfortunate. And it is something that we can say is overzealousness of the media age. It's a simple radio program. And in any media, broadcast media, there is a political guidelines. And also, whatever a radio station does or a television station does, if somebody came with some of the points that he thinks that he is trying to checkmate or to hold the public officer, either the governor or his commissioners or even the local government chairman, you know, is being perceived as, you know, a criticism of the government. So what happened on that program about Badeggi radio is somebody, a member of opposition, during the flagship program of Badeggi radio, was challenging the governor to come back to the state and also try to see that most of the projects being supervised, and he questioned the Niger food, that is the agricultural policy of Governor Umar Mohamed Bago. So this policy is being put to test. He was asking how many, you know, how many lands, how many hectares are being cultivated this year? What amount of money being expended? And he capped it all and said that in the coming 2027 general elections, he mentioned a name, that is the former FIRS boss, Mohamed Nami, that he is qualified, that he should come out and challenge Umar Mohamed Bago. He also went further to challenge Bago that, you know, Bago should now look at what has been happening in the state, the security situation in the state. A lot of things happened in the last 3 weeks. Killing of the security forces, you know, blockade of road between Badeggi and Kwantagora, and what happened in Rijor before later on, when the security forces, you know, were able to intercept the movement of these bandits and kill a lot of them, elaborated the Rijau town. This is what I said. That is not this. If but you rather, you know, to police or SSS, submit to the commissioners of police so that they can now hold the person who make this kind of questions as a kind of integrity test for the government of Umar Bago. So therefore, we, the journalists in Niger State, supposed to hold these people, the governor, accountable, because this is what is entrenched in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The Constitution empowered journalists, either radio or television or print, to hold public officers accountable and also to account themselves. It's there written boldly. Radio broadcast media is the National Broadcasting Commission. So it is National Broadcasting Commission that licenses all the radio and television stations, and also they are the one who regulates their activities. So if you feel aggrieved, you will now send whatever you have to the National Broadcasting Commission, just like what the Minister of Information has said. And it is the National Broadcasting Commission that will look at from the beginning to the end, nothing incremental or nothing that that is somehow that they are putting the government against the government, the people against the government. Nothing like that. It's just all those things that I mentioned that was what we mentioned in that program. I believe, since it is a political forum,
okay, my colleague in Lagos, Mr. Zubair,
the journalists are not there. Yeah.
My colleague in Lagos would have a few questions for you as well, because this is a very serious situation, and one that even the Minister of Information has said was a wrong move by the governor. And everyone is calling him out on this one. I think maybe they have to do something about it immediately, so that trust in this democracy that we say we're practicing can be entrenched in the hearts and minds of all of us. But my colleague in Lagos, Ayo, has a few questions for you. Go ahead, Ayo.
Well, thank you so much, Kayla. Let me take it first of all to the lawyer among us, Mr. Giwa. Excuse me. One of the things that, and I know that one of the issues that I would like to take up with you, Mr. Giwa, is the issues around, the legality or otherwise of what the governor has done, which of course is still getting a number of people talking, and there have been reactions all over the place. It's only the governor's office that says this is a good idea. But the angle that I'd like to take it up with you, Mr. Giwa, is this. The governor of Niger State gave that order, and I think the police had that instruction, and the apparatus around the governor in Niger State has, they were there, and some of them probably went immediately to execute what the governor said. Can you speak to us about the legality of that? I mean, the Nigerian police reports to the IGP, and consequently they should be taking the instructions from the IGP, so to speak, and consequently they should be upholding federal laws. Someone should have known at least that Mr. Governor, or whatever they call His Excellency, I mean, it's really within your purview. Before that outcry would, come out on him, what do you think should have happened? Or do you think the police were, if they eventually indeed executed what the governor said, do you think they were within their rights to obey what the governor said? Mr. Giwa, that's for you. No, just hold on, sir. It's for Mr. Giwa in the...
I was very shocked.
Just a second, sir. The question is for Mr. Giwa.
Governor of Niger State.
Just 1 second.
It needs to be established that the right, the freedom of expression, the freedom to hold opinion, the freedom to receive and impact ideas without interference under Section 39, Sub 1 of the 1999 Constitution is a fundamental right. It is the fundamental right of any person to hold opinion, to express and impact ideas, without interference, to own media organizations for the purpose of receiving and disseminating information. That is Section 39, Sub 2. Sub 3 talks about the fact that it is subject in a democratic society to those laws that are reasonable in a democratic society. That section 39(1)(2)(3) is also contained in Article 9 of the African Charter on Human and People's Rights. Now, if there is any action, if there is any act done by a station, a media house, against the government, because why it is the fundamental right of any person to hold opinion and disseminate information and impact ideas, that particular right under Section 3 is not absolute. I need to state that. It is not absolute. It is subject to national security, public order, and morality. And other laws that are reasonable in a democratic society. And what does it mean? It means that why the media houses have that right to pass information, impact ideas, disseminate information, it must also be done within the confines of the law to guide against defamation, sedition, cyberstalking, and all of that. I must put that in perspective. However, if the governor or the government of Niger State believes that that particular radio station has made comments, pass information, disseminate information that is against the government, there are modalities. You need, first of all, to put a complaint to that station.
Mr. Giwa, I
if you
hear
want, you have the right to bring
just one second,
civil defamation against. And we have seen a lot of that.
Just one
Governor
second,
of
because
Ondo State versus
this is what everyone who has commented. Just one
decided
second.
authorities where
Mr. Giwa, just one second. Just one second. If you can
media
hear me.
houses to the
Just one second, Mr. Giwa, if you can hear me. That fact has been established by everyone who has commented on this matter. The question I'm asking you is, when the governor gave that order, some people may have gotten up immediately to go shut down the place. And some people have also been instructed to mark the building for demolition. The question I'm asking is, the people who received that order, shouldn't they know that it wasn't within the ambit of the governor to make that order, and for them to obey that order is also against the Constitution? That's the question I'm asking you.
Where I'm going, and that's where I'm going. So immediately the governor, first of all, does not have that right to immediately ask for the closure of that station. And those policemen, I need to state it, every security agent or officers attached to public officers, their number one primary objective is for the protection of the person of the governor and not to enforce law for the governor. If not, if the governor does not like you, you can send the police, shoot him. Okay. No. So every security agency or officers, whether it is the DSS, whether it's the NIA, whether it's the police, that is attached to political office holders, their duty is for the immediate protection of the person of the governor.
Okay.
So it is not within the rights of the police officers, the DSS, or whatever security agency attached to the governor to execute a verbal order of the governor.
Okay.
The governor is not an...
We don't have much time on this conversation. Mr. Giwa, that fact is established. We appreciate it. Just one second. Just one second. Yes. That is noted. That is noted. Let me quickly ask. Just one second, Mr. Giwa.
It is unconstitutional.
It is noted. That is noted. That is established.
For the police to immediately go.
Just one second, Mr. Giwa. Just a second. Mr. Idris, very, very quickly, we don't have much time on this conversation. There are a few institutions that have been set up. The Nigeria Institute of Journalists, the Union of Journalists is there, the Editors Guild is there, and then there's the Society of Nigerian Broadcasters. And then there's, of course, this Arewa, Broadcasters Union and all of that. Do you see a role, a self-regulatory role, both for the organization and for the individuals? Because it is within the right, as Mr. Giwa said, it's within the right of anyone to hold an opinion, rightly or wrongly. But it is the responsibility of the journalist to ensure that whatever opinion is being spoken or given by anyone in public space, such as a national television or wherever, that person should be able to call in or rein in the guest and say, you don't have the right to say that because the fellow you are speaking against is not there. What do you say about the self-regulation activity or otherwise of our colleagues in Badeggi FM?
Makinde, we're in democracy. Democracy, the flavors are the people. And the people are those who normally try to reach the media to air their views. Well, the media is the additives to the democracy. From the media, we have, guidelines in which we discharge our responsibility. I'm a media owner. I have a radio station in Mina, also, just like Badeggi. And this, programs that we're having, we tailor our program towards, the people. And so in the event when the government is not, taking cognizance of what the people are saying, and when people have the right to ask the government to account for whatever is the government is doing, and the government is not ready to listen. In the event when the government has an activities and journalists, the local journalists are not, invited, and they only be given a press releases, so they have to have a way to investigate and also bring those factual information. So we, at our own level, apart from all the MBC codes that we have that guide us in our activities, there are self-regulatory issues. Apart from our editorial policies and what have you, our judgment, the IBAN, Independent Broadcasters Association of Nigeria, and the Society of Broadcasters, as you mentioned, and also the broadcasting organizations of Nigeria, gave us a lot of guidelines in which we discharge our activities without making injurious, statement or comment on any issues. So therefore, we have this and we continue. The government is coming out to give the journalists what they deserve or what they are asking for. We won't have this kind of scenario where Badeggi Radio will be threatened. Okay. As a matter of fact, they were threatened. The police didn't carry any other. They didn't carry any order from him, from the governor, and Badeggi remained open. They have been carrying out their, programming without any molestation. The only thing is the threat, on the media cycle, and also the urban development board that went into where Badeggi Radio is and marked it for demolition and asked them to come this very morning so that they will now discuss with them. So how can, an agency of government intrude into a premises where Badeggi Radio is situated? Is a public broadcast station.
Well, it's definitely, just a second, Mr. Idris. There are so many issues to raise on that matter that you have, brought up, because quite a number of issues that you have raised. On the one hand, it's also gratifying to know, as you said, that Badeggi Radio is still pretty much on air, but for that order to have come and some people to execute it, that is what would be really out of place. Just one quick one. Let me take this very quickly to Mr. Giwa in our Abuja studio. Now, there are a number of other issues that we would love to raise with you on this matter, but I know that we are running out of time and Kela would want to take over. But there is this one other issue. There is this comment that's been making the rounds between the president and the national, I beg your pardon, between the president, the U.S. government, and everyone is talking to the governors and asking them, look, guys, you need to do more for your state, for your people, and all of those things. What is your take on that comment from the president directly to the governors, telling them, guys, you need to be more, responsible towards your people? The U.S. government is saying, these governors, they have been a lot more profligate than is plausible. What are your thoughts on that? And how do you expect the Nigerian governors to react to that statement?
Well, I think that the president of the country has right to talk to his governors, some of whom are members of his own political party, as people who are moving the agenda.
Just one second, Mr. Giwa. When you say his governors, I think we need to moderate that.
Look, you need to be.
Are they his governors?
And I want
Mr. Giwa, just one second. Just one second, Mr. Giwa.
With respect to the issue,
Mr. Giwa, if you can hear me, just one second. Let's be clear of what you just said. You said the governor has a right to speak to his the president has a right to speak to his governors. I think they might take exception to that, don't you think? Are they his governors, constitutionally speaking? Mr. Giwa, can you hear me?
Against the people. That every policies of government must be people-centric, must be intended to empower the people, promote the people, and not to threaten the people. So it's a very good thing that the president is encouraging the governor to ensure that their policies are people-centric. The policy should be such that promotes the interests of the people that have voted them, and make sure that the government themselves become accountable to the people.
Yeah, I think that's a very important point to make. And we are getting some conversations here from people in Niger State telling us that the radio is still running, of course, that they're still running even right now. The radio station is still on, but the threat, of course, is the reason why everyone is speaking up. Press freedom is a very important part of what we do as a people. Before we go, you know, we started off by talking about the situation.
Yeah, exactly.
Just in 1 minute, you can wrap us up on that one, so we can wrap up this segment.
About Peter Soludo.
Yes, Soludo and Peter Obi, and of course, Bayo Nanuga, who has responded this morning.
I think that they should allow Peter Obi to make his position, and they should respect his position. It is very possible, it is very wrong for Governor Soludo to think that, you know, that whoever makes that comment should be examined. He has his right to do that. If you want to go to the second time, even if the people are saying go for second time, Peter Obi has the right to say no. I'm not going to go for second time. I give my word, and I want to start my words.
That'll be something to watch. I want to thank you very much,
Mr.
Victor Giwa, for being with us this morning. Of course, Mr. Zubair Idris for being with us there via Zoom from Kaduna. Thank you very much for your insights and your conversations, and good luck with all the work you all have ahead of you.
Thank you for having us.